Alright. See if I can make this work. Alright, hold on everybody. And sorry, I got a pick in my mouth. Okay, so a few people asked me, can I make a video of a couple of these pedals. Now, the one that says Wells is my wah pedal that I made. That is not for sale. I'm not going to make any more unless you really, really, really want one. That is a... Hold on, I'm having strap issues here. This is a Colorsound Inductorless wah with an op amp. Yeah, an op amp booster that's been dropped down to about 3 dB. So instead of being a 10 dB boost, it's fairly low boost. I'm going to be playing. This is our clean signal. So I'm pretty much at unity there. The volume is, I'm going to say 11 o'clock. And that's what the purple knob is over there. So, you know, this again, not something I plan on making to sell, but if you want one, I'll make you one. Getting the Wells foot, the foot pedal, the treadle. This is actually a dentist motor drill, but I guess it was used in other industrial systems, you know, anywhere where you need speed control, but you got to keep your hands free. So, welding, I guess, maybe. So, but the real pedal we want to talk about here is this guy here. This we're calling, for now, the Ge-32 Fuzz. So it's a germanium fuzz, but it has a charge pump in it, which means it'll run off of a standard 9-volt Boss style power supply. Plus, as you can see here, we're daisy chaining from this guy to this guy to this guy. We're daisy chaining power from all three, so you can see what we're doing here. We have common power, we have a common ground, meaning you could connect this to any other pedal that is a standard Boss style pedal. So pretty much everything out there. If you know the old Fuzz Faces and most PNP germanium transistor fuzz pedals require a positive center pin on their power, so it's reversed, which makes it difficult when you try to connect it through other pedals in your chain. You could get it's a power, we call them gender benders at work, but it's really just a power swapper, where it's usually, if you get a power supply, I believe it's either a green or a red cable, and it swaps it to a center positive instead of a center negative pin. Don't quote me on that. Obviously, look at your manufacturer's instructions on what cable you're supposed to do if you have something like that. The problem is, even if you do have that, you run into another issue, which is sometimes, because your ground is now reversed, and if you put a pedal in your pedal chain that is a positive grounded pedal, it doesn't like to play well with other pedals. So by putting in a charge pump, and the charge pump is just taking the 9-volt negative center Boss style power and converting it into what the PNP transistors want to see, the germanium transistors want to see. So this gives you that ability, which makes it pedal board friendly. So this is why we have a pedal ahead and a pedal after, so you could hear what happens when we turn them all on. So, with that being said, let's turn on the fuzz. We have, now again with the fuzz, the Ge-32, and if you want to know what that means, that's a germanium 32 is the its weight on the periodic table. GE is its name. You'll find other pedals out there. I believe Mad Professor's got the 32 Fuzz or the GE Fuzz. So you know it's already been done, but yeah, it is what it is. These are going to be very limited. They're going to be in a white enclosure, but the exact same enclosure. I don't have a Boss pedal here to show you a size comparison. Here's a Wren and Cuff, which is a fairly standard size. It's a little dusty, but you know, you could get an idea here. It's a smaller, it's roughly the same size. So, you know, again, very pedal board friendly. A little bit smaller than my Tomatron. I don't have a Tomatron handy right now. They're all up on the test bench getting ready to be finished up and boxed up for sale. So what we have here is, this is, we'll call it a pre-volume, a post-volume, and a bias. So think of your pre-volume as your gain, whereas your post-volume is just that. It is your volume control. I did it this way because most people, when they get a Fuzz Face or any fuzz pedal, they usually take the gain and they just crank it. That's what I do. That's what we did here. But your pre-volume acts like a gain control, except it gives you a little bit more flexibility and it makes these controls a lot more interactive. So let's turn off that for now. We're going to turn this on. Nice gainy, you know, note to it. When I make these, they're going to be using new old stock for the most part. RCA, Motorola transistors. I have a local store that I'm buying them from. I actually just put in an order for a bunch coming out of the Ukraine, actually. So they're old Soviet-made transistors. If they pass, you know, the leakage test and they have the right HFE gain stage, then, you know, they might go in there too. So when I say limited number, literally, I'm probably not going to make more than 5. I only have 3 enclosures right now. The enclosures are the easy part, but I wanted to build the circuits first, and I have a few other, you know, I guess you'd say pots in the fire right now. So, back to this. If we turn this guy down, we drop our gain. And if you turn it all the way down, you sure turn off the pedal. So this is almost acting like your, we'll turn it up, we'll go to there. This is almost acting like your volume controlling your guitar. So that's me turning down the volume of the guitar. Cleans up the same way. Alright, so turn it back up. And if we turn this guy down, this is your overall volume. And obviously turning it up, gets pretty loud. So then we have our bias. So for those of you that don't know what a bias control is, it's basically controlling the amount of voltage going to your second transistor. And that will go from, I'll show you. So if we turn it all the way to the left, you're going to hear the volume go up. But it also gets clearer, cleaner. That was my bad. If we turn it all the way over to the right, it's going to get quieter, but gainier. So this allows you to do something where you could turn that all the way up, turn that all the way, well, wherever you want it to be, turn that up, and you'll get pretty much the most gain you can get out of this. It gets darker. That's in a single coil. This is back in the humbucker. Alright, so I like to keep them right around there, right around there. You set that to your taste. It's a fairly quiet pedal. Let's bring the volume up so we're at unity. And probably even bring this down a little bit. Give it a little more. And we'll leave it at that. Yeah, that sounds good. So, again, like I said, these controls are very interactive with each other, especially the pre-volume and the bias. You could really get some interesting tones out of this. Now, let's kick on probably my favorite vibe pedal, the Soul Vibe. And now, let's take that off for a second there. Let's get a little crazy. And we're going to wah with the other foot. Put in single coil mode. Now, one thing about the fuzz and wahs they always have a love-hate relationship. They sound great sometimes, they sound horrible other times. This is no exception. If I turn the gain up way too far, the wah can't, we'll say, keep up with it. It gets a little glitchy almost, where it sounds like it's getting cut off. That's just the nature of the beast. If we turn that down a little bit, so there you go. Obviously, I didn't make the soul vibe. You could get that, anywhere if you just want to hear what that sounds like with the. Yeah, part of it's also the wah pedal is cutting off because it's hitting. The wah pedal is hitting the circuit so hard it's distorting. I've tamed down that wah as much as possible, and it's funny because when I first built it, it was too quiet. That's the Colorsound Inductorless circuit is fairly quiet. It's right below Unity. If you're lucky with the right transistor, you'll get it to Unity, and if you're even luckier, you'll get it slightly higher than Unity. When I got slightly higher than Unity, it really sounded more like a fuzz wah, which, hey, I love fuzz wahs, but not for this. So I tamed down a lot of that, and then I put in, like I said, a booster to give me a little bit more volume. It sounds pretty good. I'm happy with it. Would it be nicer if it was cleaner? Yes, but it does what I want it to do. But anyway, this video is more or less about this. It's just a preview of the Ge Fuzz, or the Ge-32 Fuzz. These are going to be coming out soon. There's 2 other pedals in the lineup that are coming before this. One of them, I posted a picture of it the other day on Instagram. That's going to be called the Nuclear Glitch. And here's one of the mock-ups. This is actually my prototype. But this is a mistake. This is a mistake. The whole entire thing where, you make lemonade from lemons. I bought the wrong part. It was late at night. I thought I was buying 1458 op amps for the automatrons, and I ended up buying LM311 comparators, which I had no use for. So I decided, well, what circuits are out there? And I found a glitch fuzz. So it is harsh, aggressive, nasty, but all in a good way. So I'm going to be making a video of that soon, and I'm actually building the last 4. I'm going to be doing a production run of 8 right now because I have 8 units. with 2 more sitting on the side for, I don't know, we'll figure out. Maybe they will be something a little bit more special. We'll find out. We'll see. So 8 for now, 10 maybe in total. I also have I'm going to butcher the name of my own pedal, but Tornadin is what we're calling it, which is my take on the Sea Moon Fresh Fuzz. Tornadin is just an anagram of Craig Anderton's last name. Craig Anderton is the guy who designed the pedal, so that's a nod to him. That's going to be very limited to only 2. I will be making more of those, just not right now because those are actually hydro dipped. So they're the fancy swirl paint jobs that I do. It's difficult for me to do the swirl paint jobs right now simply because it's so determined on weather and humidity, and we're going through a heat wave right now in Jersey. And then after that, we're going to be dealing with humidity problems anyway. So long story short, we're going to do 2. If you guys like them, we'll do more. So we'll leave it at that. So once those are done, I have 2 other pedals I'm working on for a buddy of mine that I need to get done. We'll be making these, and again, we're going to be doing the knobs probably like this, 2 black and 1 red. Just so you know that, the red is not a volume, but it's a bias. And the reason why I made the bias external, a lot of times the bias is set with a resistor, or with more modern pedals, it's a trim pot inside. I wanted to do something different. I wanted you as a user to have the ability to adjusting the bias on your own. Maybe you want something with a lot more saturation, so you're going to turn it all the way to the right. Maybe you don't want that. Maybe you want a lot more clarity and a lot more volume, so you're going to turn it all the way to the left. Or you're like me, you want somewhere in the middle. So we'll be doing that, and like I said, just watch our Instagram, watch our Reverb, and if you have any questions, hit me up in the comments. Our email address is one word, jerseydevilpedalcompany@gmail.com. You could always get me there as well. And anyway, like I said, yeah, have fun. If you have any questions, hit me up, and thanks all.